Can you state who you are and what you do on campus?
My name is Thomas Occhipinti. I'm the president of the Business Student Council for the 2017-2018 school year.
All right. And what do you do with that as the president?
So the Business Student Council is basically I don't know if I should be looking at this, the umbrella organization for the Spears School of Business, kind of the governing body. And what we do is, in addition to at our own meetings, we meet every other week. Well, the whole overall chapter meets every other week, and then the executive team meets those opposite weeks. But we bring in speakers, different notable alumni and businessmen and women throughout the region to come and speak to us, give their life advice on their career, how they got there, what they're up to. We go to different events all over campus, just trying to participate in what we can. CEO Day is one big one we participate in, where the school brings in 3 CEOs to talk to students, and we kind of are their escorts around. We're helping with the new business building being open next semester. We're working on some different events with that. We organize a Seat versus Spears week, which is where the Spears students and the engineering students compete with each other in different academic and athletic competitions. In addition to that, we travel. 2 years ago, we went to San Francisco. We went to Google headquarters, got to go around there, some other different startup companies. Last year, we went to LA. We met with a few different pretty well-off alumni that showed us their businesses, some hedge funds, things like that. This year, we're going to Boston in April. Going to meet with some companies there. So we really do a lot in terms of, reaching out to alumni, trying to build those connections, in addition to building professionalism among students. And we are the voice of all the Spears students. So 2 weeks ago, we had a town hall event where all students could come and, voice their concerns or suggestions for Spears. And I actually, on Monday, met with the dean and went over those and how we're going to change those.
Oh, very cool. So what's the key to leading the other people? Like the most important aspect of a leader of the business?
I'd say the most important aspect would be kind of the interpersonal skills of, there's no way to always please everyone. Someone's always going to be upset by something that happens, but you have to, realize that our job is to represent all of Spears and have that be the best interest. And leading, being able to handle conflict, being able to handle situations that might be uncomfortable for some. You need to be able to handle those situations that are always ever changing, and voice your concerns in clear and concise ways.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to someone who's coming into your shoes?
So next year's president, I would just say honestly, the best thing to be is be as transparent as possible with everyone. Always, obviously, be extremely ethical in everything. We deal with a lot of money from the SGA and outside things like that. So we have to really make sure we're doing everything right and by the book, and just being as professional, polite, and courteous as possible. A thank you note goes a long way. Write as many of those as you can. Write a ton of those. Things like that. Really, just like kind of the soft skill, person-to-person things are a lot more important than maybe other aspects.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what strengths of someone who's replacing you would you look for?
Someone who works well with others.
Yeah.
Someone who, with that, just like good at building morale, and I don't say I do this, but being able to inspire others, things like that. Really just overall manage, because everyone in Business Student Council, you apply to get in it is a little bit tough to get in. I actually didn't get in my freshman year, so it's weird how this worked out, but everyone in there is, very intelligent, very gifted, so they have a lot of great ideas. They all know what they're doing, but being able to harness all of that and, put it all together in a way that can benefit as many students as possible, I think is the most important.
Absolutely. Like, what skills do you think you've learned since attaining your position?
Oh, so many. So I'm actually going to go back and just talk about, what I've learned through, I guess, last year I was the professional development chairman, and then this year that kind of propelled me into being president this year. I've learned so much about, I keep going back on this, but how important it is just being able to work with others, conflict resolution. There's been a lot of times, even the vice president now is one of my great, great friends, but we've butted heads a lot this year just, on different leadership strategies and being able to work through that, work with the rest of the executive team and the whole council, being able to deal with these situations, such as at that town hall. We had about 60 or 70 students come, and a lot of them came for the same problems, and they were very angry about that. They were, very heated up. Your laptop's dying here. very heated up and things like that. So we had to be able to, calmly tell them, like, this is what we're doing to help you. We're going to do everything we can. So I definitely learned a ton about that, and also in the networking aspect. I've had dinner with CEOs of companies, presidents of places, things like that have definitely taught me a ton of, building relationships, maintaining those relationships. I actually just earlier today was messaging on LinkedIn with a president who was here. He was the president the year before I was in Business Student Council, so I never really met him.
Yeah.
But just seeking advice from him. He works in New York now doing some consulting, so he's like a very successful person, especially for how young he is. And just getting some advice from him, being able to reach out, such as CEO Day stuff, it's not every day you get to hang out all day with a CEO of a major company and, build that relationship where I'm first name based with these people. So it's definitely a big learning experience there.
Yeah, so how do you think the skills you've learned as the president of the Business Student Council is going to help you in the next few years with you getting jobs and getting started in your career?
Oh, I mean, exponentially. I had a job interview today, actually, and that was the only reason I know about that company is because at a Business Student Council event, the CEO of this company came and spoke to us, and I had dinner with him afterward, built a relationship up, and he actually talked to me about applying for his company. And so that was my third round of interviews.
Wow.
And he's been absolutely incredible. Things like that. I've in all the interviews I've been in, that's one of the main things to ask about and even in behavioral interviews, tell me about a time where you did this. Almost every time,
right.
Something that's happened in BSC in the last 3 years has been something I've been able to relate, which has been really eye-opening educational experience for me. In addition to not just the learning the technical skills, but going back to networking. Like I said, a lot of the BSc students are smart and meant to be there. So a lot of them, I think, will be some of the successful leaders in the future. And just having that network from back in college, I think will be beneficial for my career for years to come. Being able to reach out. I already know, like, if I'm ever in a company and they need a top-notch accountant, I know who I'd call. A top-notch whatever, I know who I'd call. Which I think is really cool.
Now, what's the biggest challenge you've faced as being the president?
I've definitely struggled with BSC is the only. So I'm the president, which is of the governing body of Spears, and each school at OSU has their own governing body, such as CETA has one, all the other arts and sciences, all of them. We're the only one that doesn't do for their council a points-based attendance system. They all have the other ones will be like, hey, you need to come to this event. It's worth 3 points, and you have to get a certain amount of points. You're kicked out. And the reason we don't have one, we never have, is because we just feel our students are going to be proactive rather than reactive. And we want them to come because they want to and because they want to make a difference, not because they're forced. And for some reason this year, definitely had some trouble with participation. And I don't want to institute a point system. They talked about it briefly last year, and I was kind of against it then, and I'm against it now because I still have that faith that Spears students are the best ones on campus. And it's definitely been a struggle, but we're working through that. That's why. So we had that town hall, and afterwards I emailed just Business Student Council, and I said, all right, listen, I just got the feedback from the students of Spears, now I want this feedback of the council. And I gave them an anonymous survey, basically, of how they think we can improve participation. We got a lot of great feedback. So yesterday was our first meeting since then. We implemented a ton of changes, and I think the people seem really receptive to that. So it's been a struggle. We're working on it right now, but that's definitely been the biggest thing is, getting people to do things because they want to, not because they're forced.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
All right, awesome.